agree with you on that. So, speaking of my man,
We get
Tank. Not Tank.
we got the
Tevin Farmer.
Tevin Farmer
versus JoJo Diaz. Now, as you've seen, I was watching the fight with you. JoJo Diaz suffered a cut.
Yeah,
and we've seen usually when a cut like that takes place, the fighter panics. AKA J-Rock, my man.
Yeah.
And who else? Tyson Fury also panicked. Man, he had Wildin looking like Mike Tyson in there and shit.
Yeah.
So, like I said, JoJo, he kept his composure. That's why I don't like when people was like, man, Tevin Farmer broke his hand. Listen, you could say he couldn't use his jab, man. Freaking JoJo Diaz couldn't see out of one eye.
Yeah.
You know, it was dripping so bad. And when I say dripping, I'm not talking about he was dripped up like we were and like we are, but I'm talking about it was dripping blood. So he was like, that's why I know JoJo Diaz has a heart of a champion. And I gotta give my hat, I gotta take off my hat to JoJo Diaz and give him a lot of props for fighting Tevin Farmer and fighting Gary Russell, because he don't get the props he deserved. Because y'all have to keep in mind, Cruz, Frampton, Quigg, all these fighters avoided Gary Russell just like they avoided Rigondeaux. Meanwhile, the only fighter that stepped up is JoJo Diaz. It ain't Canelo that's doing Mexico City justice. It's JoJo Diaz. He putting up that flag way high and waving it because he have the cojones of a real Mexican stepping in the ring with any fighter. He fought Gary Russell and now fought Tevin Farmer and made his dream come true. He stated he worked 2 years for this. He trained 2 years and he made it come true. That's why, you know, he had that tunnel vision. Even after he suffered a cut, he still saw through to his goal, and he beat Tevin Farmer in a great classic fight. Tevin Farmer, credit to him as well. He fought in the pocket, the wrong game plan, of course. Yeah. But at the end of the day, he gave it his all, and he left it all out in the ring. This fight reminded me, you know, don't quote me on this. Don't come at me talking about why you comparing the two, but it reminded me of Duran versus Leonard. I just think it was just the wrong game plan. Leonard let Duran get to him, and he went in there thinking he haggling-ish, and he ended up losing that night. He made an M, but it didn't turn to a W, and that's exactly what Tevin did. He was not able to turn that M to a W. He made an M, but he did not turn it to a W. Fighting the wrong game plan. So what do you see, like how you see the rematch playing out? Or is it gonna be the same old story? Is JoJo just has his number? Why did Tevin didn't stay in the pocket? I mean, why didn't Tevin box instead of fighting in the pocket?
Yeah, so one thing I do want to say that I want to give JoJo credit. I want to give his corner credit, his cut men. They really kept the fighter focused. They kept him just tunnel vision and thinking about accomplishing this goal, and something that he worked really all of his life for, or at least most of his life. And you got to realize, JoJo Diaz was this person who there was a lot of promotion, and they were trying to make him one of the next stars, the next Mexican-American stars, and he fell a little bit short. He had the loss to Gary Russell Jr., who was a supremely talented boxer. But for him to take this opportunity and to grab it by the balls or by the cojones, I really want to give him credit.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that, to me, I still sense that Tevin Farmer was just a little bit off. He not only fought the wrong fight, but just to me, it just seemed that he fell into JoJo's game plan. He didn't take it. He really didn't even take advantage of JoJo and his the injury that he was dealing with to his eye. I would have been kind of peppering it. He I ain't gonna say he claimed it, but he did say he was dealing with an injury at that time, and it was very humble in accepting the defeat. But I don't know. I think I would still give Tevin Farmer the slight edge.
In the rematch? So you think it was
I can't see him standing in the pocket the whole time like he did this fight.
So you think, was it, okay, like I'm not trying to make excuses, but was it an injury that he couldn't use his jab and had a fight in the pocket? Or is it what JoJo Diaz did to make him fight in the inside?
I think it's part of it. So I think it was Tevin Farmer not making any adjustments, not saying that this is not working, these there, and then him and his corner should have been working to make those adjustments. When they kind of step back and look at the fight, also with the injury, sometimes you got to just bite down. We've seen Floyd, we've seen even Manny Pacquiao, we've seen other fighters deal with injuries and still find a way to pull it out during that fight. I think with some more time, well, for one thing is I think that they will make sure that he does not stand in the pocket, because really he's taking away one of his best advantages, which is his slickness, and he gives away his slightly better boxing ability if he just stands there and kind of trades with him.
Yeah, and then just to follow up, I agree with you on that. And he must fight his fight to have a chance against JoJo Diaz, because JoJo Diaz was battering him with the left hands, great combinations, great punches. And one thing that impressed me with JoJo Diaz in that fight is how calm he was and how he was selecting his punches. I mean, what's my man name? Tevin Farmer's defense didn't look that good. On Thursday.
Yeah, I mean, when you stand in front of the person and kind of trade, and then when you're not using your, I mean, some of it is because
he didn't fight his fight, so he could have used the angles that he wanted to.
Exactly.
But again, that's another point that I brought to on my post-fight videos, that is because he's a southpaw. So that being said, I remember JoJo Diaz when he fought Gary Russell. I felt like he started late. There was a lot of hype behind him, so I was very interested to see him fight Gary, because Gary was like the boogeyman at 126, and it's like, man, to see JoJo step up like out of nowhere, it shocked me. So I'm like, let me see what JoJo has. So when JoJo fought him, he was like a little bit gun shy in the first 6 rounds. It took him too long to open up. But as soon as he opened up and went to the body, man, he had Gary Russell like, man, hold on, this dude could punch. And like, he's very accurate, and he's better than I expected. And Gary Russell dogged it out. But by the end of the 12th round, man, he changed the landscape of the fight. So you wonder, like, man, if you would have started early, you possibly could have pulled off the win. But that's experience, and that's also credit to Gary Russell, because early on his hand speed is just on point.
It is.
That, you really can't see a lot of them punches.
Yeah,
and you don't want to get caught with a punch that you don't see coming, because the punch that you don't see coming is the one that put your spark out. So you have in the rematch Tevin Farmer. Right
now, going into it, I think that Tevin is going to not get on his bicycle, but use his angles a little bit better. I think he's athletically just a bit better than JoJo, and I think he'll make the adjustments over a camp, make those adjustments which he was not able to make during the fight, and hopefully he won't have to deal with any hand injuries.
No, I agree with you on that. I mean, I would say this. I feel like JoJo has the edge, because
you think that he has his number?
Because the cut, he suffered a cut. For him to perform and be calm in that fashion, I mean, I feel like if Tevin don't come on his Sugar Ray Leonard in a rematch with Duran, then man, it's gonna be tough. And I know that's what you're referring to.
Similar,
yeah, I know that's what you're referring to. But I feel like Tevin already got out of the hospital saying the injury is cleared. It's going to heal, and he won the rematch right away. So credit to Tevin Farmer for not folding under pressure. And, it happens in boxing. So I could see that. I don't know who to pick right now, to be honest with you. I still have to see, what takes place. Because I didn't like what I saw with Tevin Farmer. He just went straight to the pocket. Like, man, what is you doing? That's not your fight. You don't have the power. You don't have the power to fight in the pocket. It reminded me of what Gary Russell said. Tevin is a good fighter, but he don't have that F you on his punches like Tank Davis does. So when he fights in the pocket, unlike Tank Davis, he could crack you with one shot and get you out of there. But Tevin Farmer, he could stay in the pocket, hit you with all type of shots, no disrespect, but you ain't gonna feel him because it's like pillow punches. So he has respectful power when he catch you coming in, but you cannot be in the inside fighting like Mike. You could show different dimensions of your style, and that's what he pretty much did against JoJo, but he stayed in the pocket too long.
Yeah,
it was looking good early on, but then they're like, man, you staying in the pocket too long.
It is. So we want to And I just want to put this out there because I'm not, and I think you reported on it, but apparently Farmer did not break his hand. He was cleared, so there was no actual breaks. Well, this is from Matthew Valentine. We haven't verified it, but I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. We can.
What he stated?
He's saying that he was clear that he didn't actually have any fractures.
Okay, so he probably just twisted it. It's a small
minor injury. But there's also
a minor injury,
there's ligament damage. There's tendons and other things that are in there. But we will, as we get more information about that, once we can get something verifiable, we'll make sure that we will keep you informed. 5 lists out there. We'll definitely shout out your name and speak on it.
But that being said, you know, the welterweight division is the hottest division in boxing, and this is definitely the hottest boxing debate show out there. So tune in every Sunday live. Of course, to my left, the one and only Professor Nam. You know what I'm saying? Today, I don't think it was a split decision. Y'all comment if y'all think it was a split decision win or a knockout win for AkHi, or Professor Nim, whoever y'all picking. Hashtag AkHi, hashtag Professor Nim. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Subscribe below if you're trying to get smarter by the minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't. And listen to these casual fans. Of course, on Split Decision, we offer the book of the truth. So if you do open the book, that's exactly what you get. Is Split Decision. So that being said, tune in every Sunday live by clicking on the notification bell to get notified every time we post or go live. If you want to attend the AkHi University, for all the casual fans that want to be hardcore, you know, come to the AkHi University. We have real life professors like Professor Nam teaching for free. All you have to do is subscribe, you know what I mean? So that being said, I appreciate every single one of y'all. I don't know if you noticed, Professor Nam, this weekend, you know what I'm saying, I posted a fight with me and, you know, Sparring and
thing. I did notice.
You know, obviously I got you know, some haters coming through. Now, the people that know what time it is, they saw the AkHi skill. You know, I'm not trying to brag. I'm not a fighter. I do this for fun. And we're out here
trying to teach out there, so we're not trying to hurt people.
Yeah, I'm not trying to hurt. So what they don't understand with the sparring, you could tell if you box. I'm pretty sure you haven't seen it, but as soon as I show you, you will realize it right away. Oh, man, you holding back all the way. Like, damn, AkHi, but it's because I want my opponent to improve, and so do I. And at the end of the day, I'm more so working on my upper body quickness and upper body movement than my hand speed. So when I throw a slow punch, I want my opponent to counter. So I could work off that. And at the same time, people in the comment section like, man, you slow, man. I'll knock you out, this and that. And I was like, man, that's how I know you will get knocked out, because you should know this ain't my real hand speed. Like, you will see me throw a real punch and then see me throw a slow punch. Every time I threw a real punch, I hurt the dude. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you know, it's all, you know, ain't no winner or loser in sparring. So it's all about who learns more. The winner in sparring is the guy who worked on more things and learned more. And that's what I do when I spar. Like I said, it's my passion. It ain't even like I'm a professional, none of that. But I will whip KSI for that bread. You know what I'm saying? I don't even condone YouTube boxing. You know, me and you, like, they disrespected the best fight on the zone, and that was Tevin Farmer versus JOJO Diaz. And they had that not even as the co-main event. They had my man, what's his name?
Logan Paul.
Yeah,
whatever
his brother, but
is.
whatever.
BS.
Like, really, y'all gonna disrespect us like that? It was the best fight of the night, the most competitive, and we saw the upset. And y'all gonna have that over the best fight of the night, which was ridiculous by the zone. They cannot continue on disrespecting the sport like that if they want to grow the sport. So that being said, like I said, at the end of the day, when I spar, when I say I'm a YouTube boxer, I just wanted to let it be clear, I never had an amateur bout or a pro bout. Like, I'm self-taught based on what I saw. I studied my favorite fighter of all time, Muhammad Ali, the highest, the greatest. And of course, I studied Mayweather for a long time. You know, that was one of the most fighters I learned from. And of course, Sugar Ray Leonard and them. Of course, to my left, you know, 2-time Golden Glove. Of course, he a professor with a PhD degree, but don't get it twisted. We want all the smoke.
Yeah, and with that said, we were going to wrap up. But as we get close, you know, to the 20,000 subscribers, we're going to start bringing up other content, because part of my job, I've been boxing, but innately I'm a teacher, so I'm always looking to teach. So we're going to have a segment called Professor's Nims Boxing Gems, where we give y'all a little bit of technique. Like, we're going to show you how you can hook off of the jab. We can show you how to pull counter. We're going to show you some intricate things with the footwork.
Yes,
but
sir.
just
We
make
will-
sure that you subscribe, hit that like button,
and click on the notification bell.
notification,
Yes, sir.
and make sure that you tune in every week.
And I just want to, Ratty Habit said, AkHi, I saw you 40% all day. You was good work for him. So basically, he sees that I was just going like 40%. Like I said, you know, it's tough when you're not trying to hurt. Like I would throw a real punch to the body, but not to the head. So when you throw a slow punch, is you got to be, you know, work harder. To basically avoid the counters because he's throwing at real speed. I'm not.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I'm out of shape. I ain't gonna front. Like I haven't been working out for 2 or 3 years, but I still had them skills though. You know what I'm saying? I still could throw them hands. But regardless of any of that, I appreciate every single one of y'all. OG Swag. Appreciate you, AkHi, all day, man. I appreciate the love and the support. All my AkHis from Real Rap to Sean. I hope you feel better. Inshallah, you will recover. You know, my prayers goes out to you. And of course, you know, take us out, Professor Nin.